In March 2026, at Nvidia's GTC conference in San Jose, Jensen Huang stood in front of reporters and said something that hadn't been true in over a year. We've been licensed for many customers in China for H200. We have received purchase orders from many customers, and we're in the process of restarting our manufacturing. For the first time since the Biden-era export ban, Nvidia's chips were legally allowed back into the Chinese market. And it wasn't just Nvidia. AMD's MI308 accelerator got cleared too. This sounds like a massive win. China once represented up to a fifth of Nvidia's data center revenue. Reopening that door could mean billions of dollars flowing back onto both companies' balance sheets. But here's what most headlines aren't telling you. Getting a US export license and actually selling a chip in China turned out to be two very different things. And the gap between those two things is exactly what every investor in NVDA and AMD needs to understand right now. Today on Future AI Stocks, I'm John A.G., and we're breaking down what this policy reversal actually means for Nvidia and AMD. The real numbers, the real politics, and the real risk that most coverage of this story is glossing over. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video is financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. If you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. To understand where we are, you need the short version of how we got here. Under the previous administration, advanced AI chips like Nvidia's H200 and AMD's MI308 were essentially banned from export to China over concerns they could accelerate China's military and AI capabilities. That ban cost both companies real money. Nvidia wrote down roughly $4.5 billion in unsold China inventory, and AMD absorbed hundreds of millions in charges tied to the MI308 specifically. Then in December 2025, the Trump administration reversed course. Nvidia would be allowed to sell the H200, its second most powerful chip, back into China. AMD would be allowed to sell the MI308, but there was a catch. The US government would take a cut. 25% of Nvidia's China chip revenue and 15% of AMD's goes straight to the US Treasury as a fee. By January 2026, the formal rule was in place. By March, at GTC, Huang confirmed manufacturing had restarted and purchase orders were coming in from Chinese customers. On paper, this was one of the biggest policy reversals in the history of the US-China tech relationship. Now let's look at what each company has actually done with that opening, and where the real numbers stand today. Nvidia remains, by a wide margin, the most dominant company in AI computing. Fiscal 2026 revenue came in around $216 billion, up roughly 65% year over year, and the company has guided for Q2 revenue of approximately $91 billion. As of early July 2026, the stock trades around $194, with a market capitalization near $4.8 trillion, down from an all-time high above $236 hit back in May. Now here's the part of the China story that matters most for your research. In May 2026, the US Commerce Department confirmed it had cleared roughly 10 Chinese firms, including Alibaba, Tencent, ByteDance, and JD.com, to purchase up to 75,000 H200 chips each. That sounds like a green light, but as of that same month, not a single chip had actually shipped. Beijing itself had not approved the imports. Then, following Trump's summit with President Xi Jinping in May, Trump told reporters that China had chosen not to allow the purchases, adding that Chinese officials want to develop their own domestic chips instead. U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick echoed the same point directly to a Senate hearing. The Chinese government, not the U.S. government, is the one blocking these sales right now. The financial reality reflects that standoff. Nvidia's own $78 billion annual revenue guidance assumes zero recovery from China. Analysts estimate that if a functioning export pathway actually opened up, it could restore somewhere between $3.5 and $4 billion in annual revenue. Meaningful, but a small fraction of Nvidia's overall business, and nowhere near the $50 billion opportunity Huang once described as the total addressable China market. Nvidia's market share in China, which used to sit near 95%, has fallen to what Huang himself has described as essentially zero. To be clear, this isn't a story about Nvidia losing ground because of weak products. It's a geopolitical standoff sitting on top of a genuinely dominant business. Nvidia's core AI franchise outside of China continues to grow at a pace almost no other company on Earth can match. But if you're modeling this stock based on headlines that say Nvidia is back in China, the actual revenue numbers tell a very different, much more cautious story. AMD's story runs on a similar track, but the China piece is a smaller slice of a much bigger, faster-growing pie. AMD's first quarter fiscal 2026 revenue came in at $10.25 billion, up roughly 38% year over year, with data center revenue alone hitting $5.78 billion, up 57%. Management guided second quarter revenue to approximately $11.2 billion. The stock has been one of 2026's standout AI trades, up somewhere between 140 and 150% year to date, depending on the exact date measured, and up over 275% across the past 12 months. Shares recently traded near $500, off their 52-week high above $560 after a broad chip sector pullback in early July. On the MI308 specifically, AMD received export licenses for the chip, and CEO Lisa Su has confirmed the company is willing to pay the required 15% government fee on any China-bound sales. There have been reports that Alibaba is considering an order in the range of 40,000 to 50,000 MI308 units, which, if it materializes, would be one of AMD's largest China deals since the restrictions began. But notice the word considering. AMD itself has been conservative here. In its own guidance, the company has said MI308. China revenue is limited to roughly $100 million in the near term, and it explicitly has not built aggressive China assumptions into its outlook. Because, as Lisa Su put it on an earnings call, it's still a pretty dynamic situation. That's corporate language for exactly what we just covered with Nvidia. A license is not the same thing as a sale, and Beijing is the actual gatekeeper. The good news for AMD is that its growth story barely needs China right now. The Meta partnership alone, a 6-gigawatt multi-generation compute deal, plus growing traction with the upcoming MI450 and Helios rack-scale platform, plus a server CPU business that Lisa Su now expects to grow at over 35% annually toward a $120 billion market by 2030, are doing the heavy lifting. China access is a bonus on top of an already strong thesis, not the thesis itself. Let's be direct about the risks, because this story has more moving parts than most. The core risk for both stocks: a U.S. export license does not guarantee a Chinese import approval. That's not a technicality. It's the entire ballgame right now. Beijing has made clear it's prioritizing domestic chip makers like Huawei, and until that changes, any China-related revenue built into either company's forecast should be treated as speculative upside, not a sure thing. Congressional pushback is a second layer of risk. Bipartisan lawmakers have already expressed concern that these chip sales could strengthen China's military and AI capabilities, and legislation has been floated that could reimpose stricter controls even if the current framework holds. Valuation risk matters too. Both stocks have had extraordinary runs. AMD trades at a rich forward multiple after more than doubling in under 7 months, and Nvidia's near $4.8 trillion valuation already prices in continued dominance outside China. Neither stock needs the China story to work for the current valuation to make sense, but neither is it fully in the price either, meaning a real breakthrough or a real shutdown could move both stocks meaningfully in either direction. Competitive risk from domestic Chinese chip makers is the long-term wildcard. Every month, H200 and MI308 sit in limbo. Companies like Huawei get more time to close the technology gap and lock in Chinese customers who may not come back, even if the door eventually opens. Here's the frame that actually matters for investors watching this story. Trump's policy reversal was real. The licenses are real. Huang's comments about purchase orders were accurate at the time he made them. None of that is in dispute. What's also real is that, as of the most recent reporting, neither Nvidia nor AMD has generated meaningful revenue from these approvals because the second half of the equation, China's own willingness to buy, has not materialized. This is a story about a door being unlocked, not a door that's actually open yet. Nvidia, NVDA, the larger dollar opportunity if China reopens, but a business so large that even a full China recovery is a modest percentage add-on to an already massive base. AMD, a smaller, more conservatively guided China opportunity, layered on top of a data center growth story that doesn't need China to keep working. Watch the actual shipment and revenue numbers in future earnings calls, not the policy headlines, to know whether this story is really unlocking value or not. That's the full breakdown of what this policy reversal actually means for Nvidia and AMD, beyond the headline and into the numbers that actually matter. If this helped you separate the policy story from the revenue story, hit that like button. It helps future AI stocks reach more investors who want research, not hype. Drop a comment and tell me, do you think China opens the door on H200 and MI308 before the end of 2026, or does this standoff drag on? I read everyone, and if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time. Hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell. I'm John A.G. I'll see you in the next one.